Diversity TV, bringing you the untold stories across Canada. Happy Mother's Day to all our lovely mothers. Here's your Diversity Community Newscast for May 7th, 2021. Hosted by Harriet Tinka and myself, Rayyah Sempala. Sponsored by Rayyah Plumbing and Heating. Here are the headlines for this week. What exactly happens when we're pronounced dead in Canada? BCW in Action adds new programs to its business department. After Diversity TV Community Newscast, Diversity TV in the Community brings to you a special town hall on sharing experiences and resources on racism and bullying in Canadian schools. Now, the news in detail with Harriet Tinka.
On to segment number 1. When a loved one dies, we give them a befitting burial. Burial is different from country to country. Licensed funeral pre-planning consultant Andrea Cox, working with getting your affairs in order, weighs in.
Andrea states, if a loved one passes away, one of the first questions will be, which funeral home would you like your loved one released to? Here in Canada, our loved ones are released to a funeral home and not to the family. This can be very different from some people depending on where they are from and what they are used to. One of those things that most of us would never think of in a million years until we have to at the time of death.
Now, Andrea Cox goes on to say, hearing the devastating news of a loved one passing away and right away going into problem-solving mode can be very tragic for some. Going into reactive mode and trying to figure out what to do can be very, very difficult. Having those uncomfortable conversations beforehand, having a will in place, and starting a file at a funeral home beforehand will bring a peace of mind to your family during a devastating time. No, this does not mean that you are going to die. This means you're leaving a positive legacy and putting a plan in place years and years in advance to help your family when they need you the most.
The question is, will your family be left with questions or answers at the time of one's death?
Those are all really very, 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 very important questions, especially when you have a loved one who may be sick, and you don't have to be sick to be thinking about the burial. It's just a difficult time for most people, and people would rather not talk about it. But Andrea Cox makes it so comfortable for our audience and ourselves to really start pre-planning.
Yes, and we now take you on a tour of Pearson's funeral home in Calgary to learn more about what happened in there after the bodies are released to their care.
One of the first things we have to do when someone passes away, after getting the information that someone has passed away, is meet with the family to determine what exactly we should do. So this particular room is one of, I think, 4 offices we have here at the funeral home where we can sit down and talk with the family and discuss everything that goes on about funerals. And of course, there's a couple of things that need to happen. And one of the things that needs to happen is we need to gather information. And so we need to register the death with the province. And then we have to, so there's information that we need, legal information, in order to do that. Plus, we need to know a little bit about the family and have an understanding of what it is we're going to do. The next thing we do is we have to kind of talk about what the different options are with death. And so obviously people have a sense that there's burial and there's cremation, those 2 big options. But from when the time someone passes away till we either cremate the body or till we bury the body, there's lots of different things that can happen. So oftentimes we'll start with going through our price and information guide. And so book is actually on our website, and people can download it, and it has all of our prices in there. But what it really does is it helps us understand what services that you would want us to perform for you. And so as we continue from here, we're going to go into some different places again and talk a little bit about what's involved with planning a funeral. We talked about gathering the data, and one of the other things we'll do in here is not just gather the data, but gather data about things like an obituary. So if we want to put something on our website or in the newspaper, we need to know and collect that information and put that together for the family. We also need to know if there's going to be a funeral service, and most people have some type of a gathering, where that will be, who will be in charge of it, will it be religious or not, and if it is religious, what are all of the things that are going to be part of that? Who's going to give tributes? What type of music will there be, and who will do the music? What type of flowers they have. So all of that type of information, we're going to gather that and at least start the process of putting together a funeral service here in this room. The vault at the cemetery, one of the things that happens is it's set up a little bit differently at the cemetery than perhaps if you didn't have a vault or a grave liner at all. And the setup, and I'm going to bring this picture right over here. The vault is actually set up at ground level. The hole is beneath it, but the vault is set up here so that when we bring the casket to the cemetery, we can put the casket on this device here and seal it while it's still at ground level. And once we've put the casket inside and put the top on and it's sealed, we would lower it down into the grave all at once. And that's a nice way to watch that part of what we call the interment, where we're burying the...
On to segment number 2. On April 29, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., the business entity of BCW in Action, called Black Canadian Businesses in Action, or BCB in Action, a hub for Black businesses in the Western, organized a presentation to share with business owners, entrepreneurs, startups, and interested community members to present the programs and services that they offer.
The panelists are Samra Tamru, Matthew Chessa, and Natasha B. Russell, who all shared various business experiences and information on business strategies, financing, marketing, and branding. There was a breakout session on what is your branding and marketing strategies? Do you have a SWOT analysis for your business? Where do you get your COVID-19 support as entrepreneurs, and has it been impactful? Here's a summary of the events that we put together for you from behind the scenes of the BCW office in the Orange Hub in the west of Edmonton.
What are you doing now?
See how I'm tortured. Yeah.
What are you working on?
I am setting everything up. I'm setting everything up, setting the presentation.
Our next segment will be the giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big one. I think we're all ready. Who doesn't like getting free stuff? I know I do. So, what I'm going to do.
And also Mathieu said that, I think Kedin say accent, we don't have to let our accent be an accident. So you see, always challenging for me, you know, when I come to it.
Everybody, your time is important. I know we went a bit over, but we couldn't leave anything out because we felt everything was so important. So thank you so much. Breakout rooms, everything. My co-host here, thank you. On behalf of we want to thank Jean for giving us the opportunity to be the voice of this event.
Yeah.
Also, we want to thank Mayor Don Iverson for making April 29, 2021, the day to remember that BCW is the day to start thinking about your dream. So making your dream come true. On to segment number 3. On a lighter note, let's bring in Taiwo Moji to paint for us a picture of the significance of Mother's Day, celebrated this Sunday, May 9th.
Hello, Taiwo.
Thank you for having me, ladies. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys and to talk to the audience. So our Mother's Day is approaching, and Mother's Day is this Sunday. What is the significance of a Mother's Day? It's a day worldwide that people acknowledge and recognize the women in their lives. It could be their birth mother. It could be an auntie who adopted them, formally or informally. It could be a woman neighbor who played significant role in the life of the person. It could be just a sister or somebody's wife, it could be anybody, any woman that plays a significant role in one's life. It's worth celebrating. And that is what Mother's Day is all about. Acknowledging, appreciating the women who played a significant role in our lives. Because, of course, without women, we won't be here. I'm a mom of 3 grown children and a grandmother of 3 grandsons. So an ideal Mother's Day for me is my children just giving me a call. Just giving me a call and, just reaching out to say, Mom, we're thinking of you today is sufficient enough for me. But that is not to say that I don't welcome a bouquet of flowers or nice smelling roses. And of course, my husband always cooks meals for me. And we have our Mother's Day, Women of Vision Mother's Day Conference this Saturday. It's online, it's virtually, of course, but if you go to www.womenofvision.ca, you can register. It's only $15 and we have a DJ in the house and lots of gifts also to draw from. Yeah, please join us for Mother's Day celebration on Saturday, virtually at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So on to segment number 4, and this is so exciting. We finally have our Diversity Magazine 2021 edition out. And what can you tell our audience about this new edition?
Well, this new edition is a Women's Day special. And if you go to page 62, which is in the middle, you'll see that we have added a bilingual section. That means half of the magazine is in French and the other half is in English. Please be sure to buy this magazine for its bilingual aspects, and we have so many women that are featured in this spring edition of the magazine. You can see all these women just featured here.
You bet. Oh, I see myself up there.
Yes.
That's amazing. Then you really gotta get it. There's also Regina Opom. Oh my goodness, some of these ladies we've already featured in some of our past episodes, and it's good to actually have a tangible item, so you can really get more details on what they're doing in the community.
These are women
Outstanding.
of the day special.
Yes, I think this is a great book, and you can get it anywhere. Where can the community get this magazine? Because I'm sure they're curious.
They can get it at various stores that do provide the magazine and different non-profit organizations. So your local African grocery stores should have them.
Is it free, or do they have to buy this magazine?
It is free, though there is sometimes, if you want, there is a $2 fee if you want to pay for it.
Okay, and I believe you can also download a digital copy, because some people sometimes they don't want to get the tangible, they would rather do it online. So you can also download that as well on our website. And the other thing as well is, look at the size of this magazine. What I love about it, I can put it in my handbag. In addition to everything I put in my handbag, this is definitely one I want to have, because sometimes you're waiting maybe at a doctor's office or wherever you're waiting, and why not have this magazine in your handbag, and you can read about what the women in 2021 did on Women's Day. That's inspirational. So exciting.
Yeah. Please be sure to pick up the book in your local grocery stores or non-profit organizations.
Absolutely. I'm getting my copy. In fact, this is my copy. We can fight for the copy, but there's lots to go around. So please be sure to get your copy.
Diversity magazine introduces Souvenir of Prominence. We are so proud to partner with Power Play Sports to take our storytelling to a new level. We can now use beautiful designs and fancy colors to capture your diversity award experiences and wonderful articles on presentable plaques, trophies, medals, and signs.
If you're interested in adding the Diversity Souvenir of Prominence to your collection, trophy cabinet on your desk, or wall, let's talk. Please call us at 780-709-0965 or online at www.diversitymag.ca.
Segment 5. Fashion and Beauty Time on Diversity TV. When a group of women bond together, great things happen. Doyin Omotara, she takes us on a tour of Adonai Beauty that she has put together with other female entrepreneurs to form an all-in-one beauty complex in Westbrook Mall in Calgary.
I am the founder of Adonia Beauty at Westbrook Mall, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I have women come in to get all their beauty needs met. We do makeup, facials, nails, hair, lashes, everything beauty we do here. Plus, we also come up with great conversations with women here that really connect them to their individual beauty. And a lot of women actually leave this place feeling really full. All right, so we offer services, we offer products, and we also teach. So we also have the academy, right? So we teach makeup, we teach facials, we teach all the beauty and aesthetics courses, and then we also retail product. We also offer all of the services: hair, makeup, facials, brows, lashes, and all of that. And yeah, we also retail services. We also retail products.
This week, we are celebrating the work of 3 women as part of Women's Day Special. Diversity Magazine Women's Day Special 2021, Mercedes Messenger.
Mercedes Melita Messenger came on Mother's Day 2000 with her family from Germany. She celebrates this year more than one milestone: 30 years in the meat business, 30 years of marriage, and her 60th birthday. In business, the most important traits for her are honesty, and quality. In person, she believes diversity, equality, generosity, and charity are of the utmost importance. All of this translates how she conducts her daily business.
Diversity Magazine Women's Day Special 2021, Julia Black.
Julia Black grew up in Ottawa and moved to Calgary in 1994 out of affection for the mountains, prairie, and foothills. Her volunteer, academic, and career interests have centered on grassroots community development, leading her to join the Calgary Foundation in 2007, where she had the privilege of working with hundreds of grassroots leaders and groups to address community needs and aspirations.
Meeting these leaders and community is a joy of the job. She is deeply honored by this nomination and accepts it with gratitude and in the spirit of solidarity with Black communities.
Diversity Women's Day Special 2021, Ping Ping Lee, Director and Founder of Solomon College.
I believe we did interview Ping Ping at one point, and she really had a lot to say about Solomon's College. So she is one of our Women's Day Special this week. Ping Ping Lee has dedicated 25 years to supporting immigrants and refugees to settle in Edmonton, Alberta. She serves on several committees at a local and provincial level focused on building capacity, fostering collaboration, and contributing to new initiatives that will provide newcomers to Edmonton with key language and employment training supports needed to successfully settle and integrate within our community.
She strives to make Solomon College a welcoming space for everyone and is committed to ensuring inclusion and equality for marginalized and racialized community. Read more about Amazing Women for Diversity Women's Day Special at diversitymag.ca.
Or they can check out the magazine, and some of it, maybe all of it, is in here. Just gotta check it out to find out. Now on to what we all been talking about, segment 7, Coronavirus Project Cool Times.
New mandatory health restrictions are being implemented to help stop the spike of COVID-19. These measures apply to all Albertans, businesses, organizations, and service providers in municipalities or areas with more than 50 cases per 100,000 people and with 30 or more active cases. Some restrictions apply province-wide.
Now, effective May 5th, outdoor gatherings are limited to 5 people and a maximum of 2 households. Weddings and funerals are limited to 10 people. Receptions are still not permitted.
Places of worship are limited to 15 people. Retail stores are limited to 10% capacity, not including staff, or a minimum of 5 customers. All post-secondary learning must shift to online learning only.
Effective May 7, all kindergarten to grade 12 schools province-wide will transition to at-home learning for 2 weeks, and they'll be returning back on May 25th. Childcare facilities will remain open.
Effective 11:59 on May 9th. Restaurants and bars province-wide limited to takeout or delivery, no patio dining. All personal and wellness services, including hair salons, barbers, nail salons, estheticians, tattoos, and piercing, must close. Non-regulated health services such as massage therapy, can remain open by appointment.
Looking at the youth and adult indoor sport, the youth and adult indoor sport performance and recreation activities are also prohibited. Outdoor sports and recreation is limited to household or close contacts.
All other public health measures remain in effect. For a full list of restrictions, please go to www.alberta.ca.
Segment number 8. What do we have this week for Diversity TV International News?
Well, we go to Africa and a country called Mali. So a 25-year-old woman, Halima Sise from Mali, gave birth to 9 babies.
Oh.
She was expected to have 7 babies, but health officials say the ultrasound missed 2 of the babies.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? She was one person, now she's going to be 10 people. Wow, that's a lot of babies.
Even 7 was a lot, but to say that she missed 2 more, that's amazing.
That ultrasound leaves a lot to be desired, doesn't it? Segment number 9. So Rayyah, what's cooking for dish of the week?
Well, Candle's line of products was founded by Edmonton-based Joseph Dongo, who brings together the best of both worlds, natural products from Canada and Africa, to make a delicious spice.
Now, I have to admit, I did try his spices. He's got the spicy one for those who like really spices, and the other one which is not so spicy, almost tastes like the ranch dressing. But for me, I tried it with some carrots, and I tried it with some cucumbers, and oh my, I have to admit, you gotta try it. The spicy one, it's to die for. It's sinfully delicious. And have you tried both of them yourself?
I've only tried the spicy one.
Oh my goodness, I tried both. The other one I would say is perfect for cucumbers as well. Just put in your favorite. If you like French fries with dressing, why not try one of these? So well done. I'm really excited about getting the full bottle.
Yes, some call it ranch, others call it dressing. And it can be eaten with fries, rice, beef, salad, and whatever you choose to use, mild or spicy flavor, for it to be spiced up.
Try with carrots. I really liked it with my carrots. And celery sticks. Highly recommended.
So if you're ready to try Candelis, go to Kasoa Tropical Food Market or other locations on www.dongocoop/candelis.ca.
Well, bon appetit, everyone.
Bon appetit.
It's really good. It's like really unique. It's like something that you would expect to put on like so many different things. It's not just meat. I can see this on salad, different types of meats, maybe fries, potatoes, and stuff like that. And it's just really unique, you know. It's not like every other one, you know. It's really unique. I like it a lot.
Wow.
Candelis is a sauce dressing. Is a sauce that can spark the deliciousness in your daily meal, and is very good for any kind of food. You can use it for your barbecues, for your pizza, for your burgers, and so on.
Now on to segment 10. We have lots of announcements this week. Edmonton will host a very important diversity conference this summer on July 6th to 10th at 9 a.m., inviting big names like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. III. For tickets, please go to www.diversityconference.ca.
Now, empowerment. Empower Black entrepreneurs to lead successful business project program. The aim of this program is to support Black entrepreneurs by providing information, strategies, and resources to help them increase their capacity and viability to innovate their businesses and overcome the impact COVID-19 had on their businesses. The support services would equip them to drive their business forward and identify ways to help their businesses prosper through webinars, forums, workshops, coaching, business skills development training, peer supports, and most best practices related to entrepreneurship. Registration, please go on their website.
How would you improve policing? Tell EPS as your feedback matters. Everyone is welcome to share their ideas and experiences at these community listening sessions. But space is limited, so please register early or leave your comments at epsinput.ca.
Some of the upcoming opportunities for all of you to participate include a Zoom listening session with Chief Dale McPhee, happening on Tuesday, May 18, 2021, from 6 to 8:30 p.m. To register, please go to www.epsinput.ca. And on Saturday, May 8, 2021, which is tomorrow, from 1 to 6 p.m., 2021 Women of Vision Conference, Mother's Day Get Together by Women of Vision in Calgary is also happening. For this, tickets will be $16.29. The event, that's tomorrow on Saturday, will be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. and it will be online. Remember, there's no refund. So once you're committed, enjoy the event. The event description for this year, they will be looking at breaking the cycle of domestic violence with subtopic titles, physical and sexual abuse. Once you register, you will receive a Zoom link just a few days to the event. This is a 9th annual Women of Vision celebration.
On to segment 11. As BC urges Albertans not to visit, you might want to explore close to home. Let's take you on a tour of some fantastic sites in the great city of Calgary with some incredible architecture, hills, valleys, and the bluish-green flowing river. Enjoy if you happen to visit this summer. Thank you for watching Diversity TV Community Newscast. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you're the first to get the news as we upload it. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
We are also on TikTok, and you can find us at www.diversityplus.ca.
See you next week.
Segment 12, Diversity TV in the Community. Diversity TV brings to you our community town hall on racism and bullying in schools. Support families wrestling with bullying and racism nightmares in school.
Bullies always pick on weak and vulnerable, as does the 7 boys who bullied and beat up the 14-year-old boy, sending him to hospital. After this incident in Edmonton, many other families have gathered their courage to come forward to share their experiences.
Thousands of you have expressed interest to support these families facing these bullying nightmares. We count on your financial support to donate to our campaign to raise funds to support families suffering from bullying with personal tutoring to catch up with lost time out of school, counseling and physiological support on possible concussions, depression, PTSD, mentorship, empowerment, and self-defense programs. The money will be given to the community organizations to help support these kids and families going through these nightmares. Thank you in advance for supporting families in need. Our panelists are Dr. Onati Makiwane, medical doctor, Mary Tate, who will share her experiences with racism in BC, Kieri Daniel, who will share her experience with racism with parents of Black children, Arlene Aguyo Stewart from defund.org, based in Toronto, Una Momolu, who will share her experience with racism with the Edmonton Catholic School Board, Rosalind Smith, who was the first principal who was Black in Edmonton, Rita Babuth, who will share her experiences with racism in schools in Toronto. Thank you for watching Diversity TV Community Newscast, and we hope to see you next week.
Please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you're the first to get the news as we upload it. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
We are also on TikTok. And please make sure to follow us on www.diversityplus.ca.
See you next week.
Thank you. We will now start with Dr. Onati Makiwane. Dr. Onati, is she here?
Let's see if she's there. No, don't know if I've seen her.
In the meantime, while we wait for some of our panelists, we'll start with some of the community members who have joined us for today. Oh, actually, we do have one of the panelists, Mary Tate. She'd like to start us off.
She's muted. Does she know she's muted? She's still muted.
I think I'm.
Yes.
You can hear me now. Yes. Okay. Sorry, the host had to unmute me. My name is Marie Tate. I'm with Speak Up Youth Forums. We help youth speak up about social issues that affect them. And there was a Lord Byng, or there was a bomb threat video that was made by a white student just amongst his friends in Vancouver a couple of years ago, actually over 2 years ago now. And you know, one girl, it got out obviously, and it spread, and a lot of other people saw that video in which the boy was saying the N-word quite a bit. He said, you know, I hate them. They're stupid, and said a lot of F words. And then he said, I wish I could line them all up and throw them all in there and just throw a bomb in there and go kaboom. So basically it was a racist bomb threat. And the school did not take it seriously. The one girl, the first girl that brought it to the attention of the principal and the vice principals, they, you know, they didn't take her seriously. They actually initially wanted to give the boy who made the video a 3-day suspension. And then when the girl was not getting any support from her school, she reached out to the community and someone put her in contact with me. And so we reached out further to the community, and then there was a lot of community backlash at the school. We reached out to the school board as well. And I did see a little bit of information about your, and so it seems that you're getting more support from the school, which is great, because it took us a long time to try to get support from the school. We eventually did, but I mean, it was literally thousands of accumulative hours from several community members to try to get them to do something about this. The school board, the Vancouver Police Department, and they really didn't have anything. So, you know, we were looking for expulsion as well. We felt that, you know, there was very few Black students at the school. They did not feel safe. And we felt that they should not have to go back to the same school where the boy was who made this threatening video. And by the school really not doing anything initially about it, they're allowing anybody who knew about the incident to feel that it's not a big deal. So, you know, the community really rallied around these students and did a lot to talk to the school and the school board in the city. And in fact, the Ministry of Education as well. We had a lot of help from the press. And in the end, a little bit was done. A little bit was done with the school board. They would say they've done a lot, but there was a lot of movement, but not really a lot of progression, which, you know, it would have been great to see more. There certainly was very little progression with the Vancouver Police as well. And yeah, so in the end, there were a couple of policies being made by the Vancouver School Board, but really not a lot that actually affected the students positively. So BC Community Alliance, which I was one of the co-founders of, did a human rights complaint, as well as one of the families from Lord Bing. And I think the community complaint is still on hold right now, but the main family did follow through with their human rights complaint, and they won. They won a few things, but again, you know, it would have been great if there was more progression and more done, because there really at this point was no accountability for anybody, not the boy who made the video, there were subsequent with bullying after the fact by some of his friends and some other people, even from other schools. The way that the school handled it was horrible, and there was no accountability there. And the school liaison officer actually advocated for the student who created the video. He went to the police department, advocated for the white boy, nothing for the Black students at that school. So I'm here to, you know, support you guys, and hopefully I can help however I can.
What I'm hearing, Mary, is that there needs to be more community involvement. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm going to go to Una Momolu. You know, if you can introduce yourself and shed some light on your thoughts about this.
Yeah, my name is Yuna Mamalu, parent of Emil Somerville. I know some of you may have heard or may not have heard about the story of my son being racially profiled at Christ the King. My experience with the school system, the police, I feel like, and the bullying that happened amongst children, it starts with the leadership and the administration. I feel like they are creating this environment because they themselves doesn't understand what racism is. Some things that are racist, they don't think it is. You have to sit them down and explain to them. There's a lot of lies that they will tell to scare you away from telling your truth. This is my experience. They will gaslight you publicly, like say things that are untruth about you to have people look at you from this angry Black woman perspective. And that have always been my experience from the school board to even the Ministry of Education. There's a lot of performance there. They will say things, but they don't do much. So there's a lot that has to change from like top level that is triggering towards the youth within the school body. So if there have to be some form of system that will hold the leadership accountable, because they're not being held accountable, therefore like nothing's changing. So it trickled down to even the children, their students that they're overseeing. So because there's no form of accountability. And so I'm here to like let you guys know, like if there's any support that you guys need, I'm here. Don't waver, because they will try to make you, to silence your child. Don't give up. It's going to be tough, but you have community support. There's a lot of us who are here for Preso, and we want to be able to support it in however way we can, because this time is very tough. With all like the backlash will come, there'll be a lot of opinions that he's, they will say that he was lying, because it was the same thing with my son. They said he was a liar. It was a lot of things that they would say to have you feel like insecure or to silence you. And I want you guys to know that you have community support, and I'm here to help however way I can. But yeah, that was my experience, and I thought I'd share a little bit light on that.
Well, thank you, Yuna, for sharing that. It's just, it's interesting because some people have also gone through the same experience, and I'm sure they'll be sharing some of their story as well. Mm-hmm. And we have Carrie Daniel as well from Toronto, who is also here to share a bit of her story. So please join us and share your story.
Thank you. I'm here with my colleague, Charlene Grant. So I'm hoping she'll be able to introduce herself after me, but I'm one of the co-founders of an organization called Parents of Black Children. We work predominantly in Ontario because we're still a new organization, but our mandate, we're non-registered nonprofit incorporated across Canada, and our goal is to dismantle anti-Black racism in the education system. So we do a lot of advocacy for families. We stand beside parents who have issues like Una just described. We will meet with them. We support them if they are filing human rights claims. We do a lot of system navigation. And each of us, or each of our co-founders, all of us have our own stories. My kids were also in the Catholic education system, and very similar experience. They don't understand what racism looks like for our kids. And, whether our children are in Toronto or Edmonton or Nova Scotia or in the States, they're experiencing the same thing. So the racial violence, the hate crimes, the, higher rates of suspensions, being placed on independent education plans when maybe they don't need them. So we're really looking at how we address that, how we dismantle that. We do a lot of advocacy towards the government, and we're looking at how we bring that advocacy to the federal government, to the federal level, even though education is a provincial mandate. We don't take the approach that we go, board by board by board, because we know it doesn't work. And we have to look at these issues systemically, because the experience is the same for our kids. We're united in that, whether we're in Edmonton or wherever we are, our kids are not getting a fair or equitable experience in the education system. So I will drop our website in the link, and I encourage people to take a look. But if you need any kind of support, we are here, and you can contact us through our website. And for parents, we have navigators that will work with you and stand beside you and support you.
Thank you, Carrie, for that. We're going to go to Dr. Unati now.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. I apologize. I just finished work. How are you? I am so happy we are having these conversations. We need to have these conversations. And I would like us to make it a culture so that we can have these meetings not to be reactive. Right now we are reactive, and we also need to look into ourselves too, and not always jump when there's situations like this. Once we start making it a culture, we can infiltrate the system. But it's always a good place to start. I am Dr. Unati Makiwani. I'm a family physician, big advocate for children. I focus on mental health, but of course, as a family doc, we see these kids coming in when parents are concerned about non-specific symptoms. Again, I apologize. I'm on my way home. I'm in the car. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Can you still hear me? Awesome. So yeah, I was saying that I believe that a situation like Pazo is not something that is going to be the last. And I'm so happy that, or to share with you that we came together as colleagues, and actually there was great support even from colleagues from other cultures, other races. They came together and signed a letter that is an open letter. I can share with you here. I'll post the link for you guys to see it, where we addressed it to all departments of education and to the justice, and of course media. We also sent a copy to Rayyah Notley, and there was a good response actually from one of the boards. So we are hoping to have a good motion there. Basically, it's summary. It's basically we're standing for Pavo, and we are Pazo, right? Pazo. That this shouldn't happen. And also we are hoping that the government, whoever is responsible to do this, to get Pazo psychotherapy, because this could induce PTSD.
Okay,
and we are
thank you.
hoping. Hello?
Yeah, we're going to give you a chance to speak again, Dr. Renati. But we're
Awesome.
reading the chats from everyone, and we'll give everyone a chance to speak. But everyone is just muted right now so that there's no chaos when we're moderating the town hall. But we're going to go next to Rosalind Smith, who is the first Black principal in Edmonton.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Okay, I am a retired principal, but when I look at these actions, I see that I can no longer remain retired. I had the opportunity to be the principal of Emmy Lazert High School, Strathcona High School, and Harriet. And you can imagine what that was like in terms of providing leadership. I think there are many things that our district is choosing not to address. They are failing to recognize that systemic change does not come about from a white perspective. It needs to be a Black perspective that goes forward. I have been trying to attempt to support the superintendent. However, this week I've been extremely frustrated. There are actions that can be taken immediately in terms of preventing some of these issues. This is not a one-off, and the district is treating it like it's a one-off. These things happen on a consistent basis throughout our schools. Parents are not knowledgeable about exactly how expulsions, suspensions, and other interventions that schools use to manipulate students come about. And we need to educate our parents on that. We also need to ensure that the school provides supervision 24/7, and I mean that between 9 and 3 when their children are at school. It means that you need to have somebody outside the school when kids are coming in, when kids are coming out. I agree with the speaker who said that the administration is, they're the ones who are the people who set the tone in the school. If the principal and the assistant principals do not know all the kids, what is happening with those kids, this is when you have these interventions. It takes nothing to meet consistently, monthly with groups of children to find out the pulse of the school, what the needs are. I'm furious with the way parents have been treated. This mother was not given the proper information to be able to make some good decisions for her children. I've spoken to people in the police force about this issue, and I found out that the police officer, who was the first person to intervene, had no knowledge about the community at all, who he was responding to, the information they would need, didn't offer the use of somebody to interpret, questioned the student inappropriately, totally inappropriately. Wouldn't have been allowed to question like that if he were in a school, never mind at somebody's home. So we need to join forces to work together to make this ongoing pinpoint for our district. Next month, they are releasing their new anti-racism policy. I saw the draft of the first one that came forward in the fall. It was written by a task force, but the policy developer themselves was not, I do not believe, was from a marginalized community. We need to look at things through a Black perspective. The district needs to have Black educators working with them, and not just on this, hi, I'm calling you today because I have a problem with Black students. They need to have that consistent support going forward for the senior administration to help look at things with a different lens each and every day. So I just, I'm so pleased to see the community rally. I am offering my services. I know districts, both of them, Catholic and public. I understand the regulations. Having been a principal, I know that. Before I retired, I started a number of initiatives within the district. One was called Changing the Conversation, in which I was able to get community members and every staff member in the district to be receive ongoing professional development around racism, anti-racism, and how to be a good steward of our new culture within our world. When I retired, they quit that. I used to meet with community members on a regular basis because I found out that they were meeting with the religious groups on a regular basis. I brought in the Black community. When I retired, they quit back. Enough. We need to be forceful, come together as a group, and put pressure on both districts to change their practices. No use waiting for the province. The province doesn't care. The current Minister of Education, she couldn't care. She doesn't understand education. So coming together as a community, I applaud you and I lend my services to you to help fight this. We need to value our children. They need to be respected and have dignity each and every day they go to school. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosalind. And we're going to open the panel up to the community now, starting with Charlene Grant and then Damien Whittaker and Jean from BCW in Action. So we'll start with Charlene.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Grant, and I'm also one of the founding members of Parents of Black Children from Toronto. So we started our group a couple of years ago, just Black parents getting together in Ontario to support Black students. I've had many experiences with my own children, which caused me now to be an education system navigator, which pretty much means I go in and I support our Black students whenever they face any type of racial issues within the school board, or any type of issue at all that the parents feel like they need help. What I witnessed on that video, I know I've been hearing a lot of, it's been labeled as bullying, but it's not. It's not bullying. It is, there's consequences for him. There has to be accountability, and it has to start from the school administrator all the way down. This child was trusted in their care, and they failed him. And they failed the parents, and they failed the community. And we have to do everything we can to hold them accountable and support this family. This child and his family will need therapeutic support, because that experience doesn't leave you. That trauma doesn't leave you. What he's learning now is how to cope. And it's wrong, like racism is violent. What our children are experiencing, and I know it's been bullying. Bullying is dealt with a whole different level. It's racial bullying because they're targeted because of the color of their skin. No, for no other reason. And if you don't name it, you can't fix it. It has to be named. It has to be dealt with as a hate crime. The police hasn't done their job, so they too have failed a family. And we are able to support in any which way we can, even though we're in Ontario. Because of COVID, we are able to meet and support all across this country. This is not the first call we have received from from Alberta. Our children are not safe. Our children are at risk when they go into these spaces. You know, I see it in corporate world. And you get a lease and it says, "I'm allowed to live in this place or rent this space in quiet enjoyment," and our children are not even able to learn in that environment. It is what they're experiencing and the harm and the violence that's going towards them needs to stop. And coming together, like when I sit in this call and seen us all together, we have to approach this, and we have to force the government to approach this the same way they're approaching COVID. The same way it's all hands on deck. It's what we need to address the issues and all that's happening to our children. There is nothing wrong with them. It is a system that is hurting and harming them in every which way they turn. And for us, we get the calls all the time from across the country for what our children are experiencing. Recently, we came up with a racism reporting tool, which means anyone from across this country could report acts of racism. We did it because of what we were hearing from our Black educators about the violence they're experiencing from non-Black educators who, when they try to stand up for our children, the backlash that they were getting, the reprisal that they get, the silencing tactics that is used against them. And we're here in any way that we can to support as parents of Black children.
Thank you, Charlene. I believe, who was our next speaker?
Yeah, I think it's Darmaine.
Darmaine, okay. Go ahead and share your thoughts as well.
Thank you so much, guys. My name is Darmaine Whitaker. I am here over in Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta. Originally from Jamaica. I am a trained educator from that country as well. And so, this video that I saw was really heart-wrenching to me personally. I'm a father of a 3-year-old Black child, you know what I mean? And I'm just really grateful for the kind of energy, the kind of support that have been, being showing up, in support of this family. It's really heartrending. It's really sad to know that we have to be, growing up our children in an environment that doesn't accept them. We suffer enough as parents. We experience the racism in places of employment. We experience it in our institutions of learning as students ourselves. And I said to a colleague of mine here the other day, I said, you know what, it's our duty to ensure that our kids can enjoy a better environment. And so I don't have a whole lot to say, but I just really want to say thanks to everyone on this call that showed up, that persons that have been turning up to the rallies and, making this issue front and center, because, we have to take a stand in order to create the kind of change we want to see. So, I'm here in Alberta. You guys can follow me on Instagram. Please, if there's something that's happening where I can offer my support, I am more than willing to do that. I work in the finance industry for now. So, follow me, reach out to me on Facebook, guys. Follow me on Instagram.
Did you remove this?
Okay, thank you, Darmaine, for that. We're going to go to Shay, who's all the way in Red Deer.
Hello, everyone. I'm so pleased, so glad to see the great work you are doing. You're not just fighting for PASI. I hope I got the name pronunciation right. You're fighting for every vulnerable, every underdog child at school all over Alberta. I am in Red Deer. I support whoever I can to whatever extent I can in my own power. I'm a physiotherapist by profession. Life is busy around there, of course, as you can imagine. Can everyone hear me? Oh, super. Life is busy around here, as you can imagine, but notwithstanding whatsoever I can do to support your group, to support this wonderful work that you're doing, I would, that's in my power to do, I would. And I saw a note written by Leon just now in the chat comment, and I'm not very impressed of the comment this person made called Leon.
Yes, we've just seen it now, and he's going to be removed from the chat.
Please do, please do. I find it quite offensive, the comment he or she made or they made. But notwithstanding, I'm 100% on your side all the way, all the way. And I would like to see something like this replicated all over Central Alberta, especially in Red Deer. A group that will support parents of Black children, for instance, or a group that will support Black parents and Black kids all over Central Alberta, and especially Red Deer. Kudos to you. Well done. Keep it going. Keep up the good work.
Okay. So, yes. So we are going to remove Leon from the chat as he's not adding anything of value to the conversation. But we will move on to our audience, our community audience, and we'll move on to Charles and Marielle Isidore.
Yeah, my name is Charles, and I'm here in Edmonton. So I'm a father of 4 children, and 3 boys and 1 girl. Eldest one, he's 14, so the same age with the young fellow who was assaulted. So the video was quite unacceptable. Unacceptable. All kids have to enjoy whenever they go to school, and no one has to touch them, either white or black or yellow, whoever, right? Saying that, I experienced the same, not the same thing, but I have how can I say it? A story to share with you. My son, who is now 14 years old, when he was in grade 4, I think, grade 4, I experienced the same thing. Can you imagine someone who is in grade 4? I got a letter, I got a call from the principal. In the morning, I was coming from a night shift, sleeping, and I got a call from the principal saying that my son was playing with other kids, and my son exhibited a knife. So, and he exhibited a knife, and as per the principal, she said it was not a big deal because he was not pretending to cut other student. So she said, whenever, when your son comes home, just talk to him, talk to him. It's not okay to play with the knife. And I said, where did that knife came from? Because it's not from my home, right? So it was like, there was something that was missing. So he said it was not a big deal, just talk to your son. But my son, when he came home in the afternoon, after 3, he came with a letter. And the letter was totally, like what the principal said and what the letter was saying, it was totally different, totally different. So the letter was saying that, my son during the recess was holding a knife, pretending cutting other students. So I was enraged. For the first time in my entire life, I was enraged and I could control myself. But I was in front of my son, so I had to go upstairs to cool down because I this is the thing I was reading. I was reading them on articles, especially in the South, in the US, right? So I'm imagining my son in grade 4, so was like, what's happening, right? What's happening here? So, and I told my wife, you know what? I'm not going to school to confront the principal by myself. We have to go together, but we are not going to fight. We are going to ask questions, because what we got from the call and what we got from the letter was totally different. So we went to school, and the principal wanted she didn't want to answer our questions. It was like, you know what, if you don't want to answer our questions, because we are here to ask those questions, and first of all, understand that the call you made, it's recorded somewhere. If we go to the court, we can ask the court to be released, right? So, and you know, she quite, you know, kind of thought about that. And I say, you know what, I'm not here to beg. I'm not here to beg. We are just here to ask questions. What you wrote and what you said is totally different. So where the knife came from, she didn't want to say where the knife came from, but we found out my son was playing with other kids, and there was another kid who was playing, who brought a knife, a plastic knife, But when in the letter it was just a knife. Can you imagine, right? So there was a knife that came from the boots from another kid, and you know, my son saw it, and he took it and he was exhibiting just like that. But in the letter was like, my son was pretending cutting other students. And where we put the knife at home, you know, the kids could not even reach them. So, and I told the principal, you know what, all these things were done because the way my son looks like. And she was on defensive now, saying that, oh no, it's not like that. And I say, you know what, we want everything to be changed. If you don't want to change this, we just need the whole story. We are going to involve the media. We are going to the Ministry of Education, and we are going to the board. And finally, she decided to shred the letter, and to let it go. So if we don't fight for ourselves, you know, and her excuse was like, oh, you know, don't worry about that. If your son doesn't make any other whatever offense or any other fault, you know, it's saying no, it's not okay. It's not even, you know, just to be brief, you know, all these things that's happening, we have to be aware of, and we have to fight. We have to be united. We have to be united. No any single parent can fight these things. It's too big to be fought by one person. We have to be united and work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. And welcome to the new people who have joined the panel. We have about 100+ people on the panel now. So this is a town hall discussing racism in Canada, and it was sparked by the Pazo incident. We'll now move on to Muriel Isidore. And if anyone wants to speak, you can just raise your hand and you will be unmuted before speaking.
Hello, I didn't want to speak. Thank you. So I'm listening. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It takes a bit of I'm working with my Zoom master, who's an expert. So it's very clear that a lot of you have you've been talking about some very common things, which is accountability and support. And I really echo what you're saying. And as we all get together, it reminds me of a quote by Maya Angelou, where he says, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. And it's really, really encouraging to see all of you here sharing all your experiences. Everybody wants to support one another. So that's so great to see. So we'll continue to have the conversations. If you don't get an opportunity to talk, it doesn't mean that we don't want to hear from you. Perhaps we may not have enough time to get through everybody's conversation. So I see some of you have raised your hands, and I will pick on a name. And I believe Patrick is next in line. So Patrick, please share. You've been unmuted.
Yes, hello. Thank you for this meeting. This is very, very important because these are issues that we cannot fight individually. This is structural, and because it is structural, it cannot be fought individually. It would need to be fought structurally. So for us to start making an impact, it means that we have to approach this corporately. Now, when I go to my kids' school, for example, it's a school that is located in an area that is in Calgary, that is primarily made up of BIPOC people, Black people and other races. And yet, when you go to the school, from the principal all the way down, the entire staff in there they're all white. Now, they do not reflect the community they serve. And when I talk to those teachers, they don't even live in our community. So therefore, when you have an issue and you go to the school, you're fine. Yes. And so when you go to the school, you're talking to people who are not a reflection of the community. And so the one thing that I would like to emphasize on is we should come together and find a way to take on this issue where staffing and teachers also reflect the community to which they serve, so that you have a reflection of the people who are sending their kids to that school within the school body and within the teaching community. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Patrick. Now we'll get Grace to share some of her thought as well. Go ahead, Grace. I think you'll be unmuted shortly.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. My name is Grace, and yeah, I live in Edmonton, Alberta, and I have a 12 and a 10-year-old, and I have experienced the same. But my issues has been from the teachers, which I am happy. There was a time I attended a workshop from the ladies who came from Ontario, and they educated us how to say it, like how to even know it, because sometimes we are so blind, we don't even know how to call it. And the system plays around with us on that area because we don't know how to call it out. So, and sometimes you get so emotional as a parent and you don't know how to address it. So that's why I'm recommending if we can come up and like you have somebody you can call out there to support you and to help you name these things. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Grace. And we'll go to Nicholas, and thereafter, after Nicholas is done, we'll go to Alex.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the opportunity to have this forum. When I saw the video, it really cut me. It cut me deep, and it brought back other memories and such. But one thing, living here in Alberta, I'm not originally from Alberta, living here, I realized in the school system, we have to be involved. I do my best to try and be a volunteer at the school, whether it be just reading with other children or otherwise, like making sure that you are known in the school. They know your face, they know who you are, and you're not just this voice on the phone or just this person that comes out of nowhere. being present in the school system. I know that for our school, they have it's kind of a, I don't know if it's a written law or rule or whatnot, but they talk a lot about inclusion and everyone being included in such. The only thing is that it's not enforced very well. And I think there's just a lack of understanding because it hasn't touched your door. It hasn't touched you as an individual. You just kind of brush it off, right? Oh, somebody said this to this child. You know, my child in grade 2, a child said to her, they don't play with brown-faced children. That's in grade 2. And I asked my child if she wanted me to do something about it. And she said, no, to protect my feelings, I walked away. To protect my feelings. A child in grade 2 has to deal with that and deal with that on their own. Now, when it happened again, I definitely stepped in, and I'm grateful that the teachers really stood up and talked to the other parents and so forth, so on, and that was handled and taken care of. But I'm curious to know if there are folks, Caucasian folks or folks from other ethnic groups that are online here that are also speaking out, because that's what, to me, what needs to be done is there needs to be more communication out there to say that, no, this is wrong. And showing your children, especially your older children, show them the video and say, you better not be doing this. This better not be you. This shouldn't be coming out of your mouth. We don't believe this, because to me, it is a learned behavior. So I look at those children that were attacking that young boy, and I'm thinking, you know what? Those kids probably heard something that the parents said about Black Lives Matter or something to that effect, why they felt comfortable enough to do that. So my biggest thing right now is that as a community that we get together and we stay together. We be a voice for each other and support each other, but also share that word, share our experiences with those that are not of our persuasion, for lack of a better term, that are not Black, that are not on a cultural standpoint. Share your experiences, because a lot of times they just don't understand, they don't know. So that's my few words there, but thank you for what you're doing, and let's get this young man some support that he needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. And this is the sentiments that you just expressed are what I'm hearing from a lot of people on the panel, that there's a lack of support and a lack of infrastructures to support parents and to support even the children who are kind of discriminated against or who are part of the minority. But we'll move on to Alex and then Yinka. Go ahead, Alex.
I'm gonna unmute you.
Hello.
Hi, Alex. I think you need to accept the message that the Zoom master unmutes you so we can hear you. Alex, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, but for now we'll go to Yinka, then we'll come back to you, Alex.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
My name is Yinka Oladile, and I'm calling from Calgary. I've heard what everyone has said, and sometimes just a shame to see what they are doing to our children. I am a mother and I'm a grandmother. My children have passed through all these things. Thank God we were able to weather this stuff, but we don't want other children to experience things like this. Like I said, I'm from Calgary, and if you are from Calgary area, we have a town hall meeting with the Calgary Chief of Police on May 15th. So if you are interested, I put my information on the chat. You can contact us We have what we call the Calgary African Community Collective. Everyone is invited. It doesn't matter whether you are from Calgary or not. This thing has to stop. Thank you.
Alex, you can go ahead. We've unmuted you. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
Yeah, I have few words to say to the my people, Africans. Please hear me very well. We African, we are not union. We African, we don't want to be connected with each other. I'll give you an example. Filipino, Chinese, Indian. Do you think that anyone can do anything to that people chat? No, it's not. But only Africans have problem, or Black people have problem, because we are not union. We are not a one. If even our word, African in African or Black to Black, always jealous between us. We are jealous between us. So why you expect for other people going to do for you? No. So we have to be union. We have to be one. We have to be solid. That's why nobody can come in close to African people. Anything you ask, they'll be there for you. Example, here at Edmonton, we have Africa Center. Today, where's Africa Center? Africa Center is gone. I am part of Africa Center. I make 1.5 million for Africa Center. It was at Macrae time. We have meeting for that. But today, one person just brought up that money. You see? So we are not union. If we are union, no one can do anything to African, anything to Black. Trust me. Where do you see African people, leader of African or Black people here in Canada? What do we hear is community. This country community, this country community. But ourselves, we don't have leader. We have to have leader. Who's going to lead us?
And I think what you're saying is what everyone in here is feeling and what people have been saying about being unified. But we're going to come back to you. We have to go to Trent and Siba next because they also raised their hands.
No, I'm talking this thing to the agenda because whatever they do to the child, I'm talking about that. That's why I'm really, really pissed off because we are not one. We have to be one. So if you
okay. All right.
Alex, you're muted now, but we'll come back to you. We're going to go to Trent and then Shiba.
Hello, my name is Trent Daly. I'm a white Muslim settler in Amiskwatsy, Wisconsin, Edmonton, Alberta. I am the vice chair of the Edmonton Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. And I'm grateful that Franklin invited me to come here. And I wanted to make it clear that this is not going unnoticed, and the Muslim community as well. It has spoken up. The National Council of Canadian Muslims, a federal organization, is going to be putting their support behind this as well, as this affects not just Black people, but Black Muslims. And this is an intersectional issue. We've had a marked increase in hate crimes during the pandemic that has been increasing still as this goes on. And we have police and school boards that are not representative. We have police and school boards that are not addressing systemic racisms. And we have the Community and Safety and Wellbeing Task Force report that came out that said over 32% of Edmonton Police Service calls are not criminal in nature. So these systemic issues are giving a big issue to dealing with when we see something happen like what happened to Pazo. We have our children now are in danger. And as someone who has biracial Muslim children that, you know, the youngest person killed in the New Zealand shooting, the mosque shooting, was 3 years old. So, you know, these are getting closer and closer to home. And when these attacks on children, these attacks on the Black community are happening, we've had multiple attacks on Black Muslim women in Edmonton and Calgary. So we need to stand together, we need to organize, and we need to stand up for the Black community as a whole. So the Anti-Racism Advisory Committee to the City of Edmonton, you know, that's a public meeting. Anybody here can attend, and I'll put the email in the chat. So if anybody would like to request to speak or request to attend, to observe, you are welcome, and I will ensure that my platform is used to support whomever may be attending. And I've collaborated with Diversity Magazine before, and I support the work you do. And this is not something that will be unnoticed. We need to keep organizing and keep putting pressure on those that are in power here. And it is I am very afraid of what's happening, even on TikTok, a platform that is mostly for children, for minors. There are people that belong to literal terrorist organizations like the Proud Boys or the 3% that are interacting with youth, people that are based in Edmonton. I've seen people that have gone to protests as aggressors, as racist aggressors that have harassed Black people, Indigenous people that are on our apps that children use in Edmonton. So, you know, this problem is so pervasive and so much more vast than anybody can possibly realize unless you have that lived experience. So, you know, I don't want to take up any more space, but I just want to make it very clear that you have my support, and I'll put that email in the chat if anybody would like to attend our meeting. You don't have to be from Edmonton, but definitely we do represent Edmontonians.
Thank you, Trent. Then we're going to Siba. Siba, if you are there, you are unmuted. Okay, I guess she's not here, but we'll move on to Fedora.
So hi, I think I may be the only high schooler here, but that's a good thing, because I wanted to, you know, give like a fresh perspective and like a new perspective, because I personally, as a little kid, I was, you know, things happened to me too. I was silenced, and I know there's plenty of kids that feel like that too. So I organized a group where the kids can come talk about how they feel, or like talk about more serious things that happen in their class that they're too afraid to talk about their parents with. So I mean, if you guys have kids, or if you like have siblings or kids that have kids, you know, that want to come, I would totally be there. And I'll leave my like phone number here too, because all I want is the best for people that are in my grade or just in school in general, because seeing what happened to him and knowing, you know, there's some kids out there that just don't want to talk, but it's happening to them too, makes me feel, you know, sad, because I can do something about it. You know, I have a voice just as much as everyone else does. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I can't talk. So if any of you guys feel like you want your kids to participate in this, I'll leave my phone number, and I'll leave the poster for like the youth hangout. Yeah.
Thank you, Fedora. It's wonderful to see some wisdom from one of the students, because you're one of the leaders of the future. So if we can really use you to even get wiser and go through your experience, that's definitely value added. So thank you for that. And we will continue the conversation. And we have who's next?
I think it's David.
David, you are on, David.
Yes, good evening again. First, let me thank the organizers of this. This is very, very valuable and educative. I just want to say that, you know, what happened to our child, Paso, is not a one-off thing. Right now, it might seem, but it's not. It is something which has been happening. And it will not end now. It will continue unless we, the people, come together in one voice, like the way we have come here. And my only thing, because men have said things I would have wanted to say, mine is to ask that we put more pressure. We need to put more pressure to the powers or to the authorities to be, so that our cries can be heard. If we don't put pressure, then we are not going to be heard, and we have to be in unison. We have to be together. So I call upon the organizers of this town hall to do a similar thing, so that we can extend it now to the outside town hall, not the Zoom town hall. Now we need to go to Edmonton Center or to the city council there, and so that we can have the town hall there, so that it can be brought to the lights. And that's the only way we can put more pressure as we, the parents, come together to support our children. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David, for that. And we'll move on to Winston. You are unmuted.
Hi. I'd like to thank the organizer for organizing this meeting. I took this very personal when I read it in the newspaper, because I also have a 14-year-old kid that goes to school. And this is something that has been happening individually to many of us. Our children have had bad experiences in school. And we are not here to beg the institutions to be, because at the end of the day, we are taxpayers. When I went to vote, I noticed there was a place where I had to pick where my property tax payment goes, whether public school or Catholic school. So we're not here to we're not going to be beggars of this to the system. We're going to demand, because our children's lives are important also. My daughter had a bad experience in school where she told me not to approach the teacher, because she was afraid that it was going to just make her look ugly in school. And I don't think any child should be in that situation. My daughter and another kid was sent to do a work for the school. They were supposed to pick up something because they usually have choice. So they went to pick up the stuff. While coming back, the other kid was streaming in the hallway. When they got back to the class, the teacher asked who was streaming. My daughter said it wasn't me. And then the other girl said it wasn't her either. And the teacher punished my daughter and let the other girl off. But luckily, there were kids standing by the stairwell that came back to class, and they told the teacher, no, it wasn't my daughter who was causing the problem. It was the other girl, before she let my daughter out. So it's like our children are being guilty before even questions are asked or whatsoever. And many of us parents, we face the same thing in the workplace. Well, with us, we are adult, we can go through it, but I don't think our children should go through these things. I have to pretty much tell my children every day and remind them you are Black in school. These things, they will blame you first before they blame the children, the Caucasian children. They will blame you first. If you do anything with them as a team and things go wrong, they will pick you up first. You will be blamed. And I don't think it's fair for our children to be listening to this. So that's all I want to say. Like, I don't think we are begging these people. We are part of this community. We pay taxes. We go to work every day. We pay property tax. We pay GST. We pay payroll taxes. We contribute. So we shouldn't feel like we have to beg them. I think this is the point where we should demand that our children be respected in school. And I'm suggesting, because I've been asking the whole time, I live near the North Division police station, and I watched a video where this kid parent was at the police station. There was a little protest. I wish I had known that day I was going to show up. This is very personal to me. I'm taking it personal because I have 3 Black children in school. I don't want my children to be victims. My son had the same experience in Elizabeth French School, where I would have to go and confront the teacher and the principal before they took action. We are not beggars. We are part of this community. We pay taxes. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Winston. And Patience, Jerian, Salome, Denise, and Emmanuel, we see you all, but we're going to go to one of our panelists now, Dr. Runati, then we'll come back to to the community and open it up again.
Thank you so much for letting me speak. I I'm also thinking, I look at the school system. I've never seen any perspective coming from medical community. When I look at how teachers quickly ask a child, go and see your family doctor, we think there's ADHD. That diagnosis is always now, I'm not just talking to Black kids, I just feel we need to challenge the system. We hear of these curricula being revised or whatever terminology you want to use after so many donkey years, but I've never even seen any component coming from the medical perspective, because at the end of the day, our children, your children come see us with non-specific symptoms. You wonder your child has all these headaches. There was a time I was seeing a young girl who had migraine, in inverted commas, migraine. And when I dug, this child, someone was jealous of her, right? So we need to challenge the system as we move forward. We need to challenge the system. Let's bring medical professionals, because we keep putting Band-Aid on symptoms that we could deal with from the bottom up. We need to start having this. I'm not sure if they do have also social services when they are creating all these curriculum, because this system, or generally school systems, they tend to be reactive. They fast to tell you that your child has a learning disorder. Hello, have you seen if your child has a problem because he or she cannot focus because he's being bullied in school or she's being bullied in school? So we need to start having us, medical communities, and also it's either from the Black community or whichever race, but we need to bring medical community to this curriculum as we move forward, to get us to also be part of creating this curriculum. Because right now, the curriculum in the schools, all we hear about is your child has this problem. It's a very reactive system. Your child is suspended. But then the problem is, if there's also trouble in the teachers, the way they view your child, a lot of kids, when you look at the United States, a lot of Black children there are always diagnosed with ADHD. I'm grateful that there's even more Black psychologists that want to be part of the school system. That's another thing. We need to get more of our professionals, our Black psychologists in the school system. Thank you so much. I'm done speaking.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Dr. Unadi. I know it's so easy for the medical world to have the pharmaceutical intervention. It seems to be the quick solution. But like you said, a bandage fix is not a solution. We need to really be more proactive. So thank you for sharing that. Now we'll go next to Sheba. Siba, sorry, excuse my pronunciation. Siba, go ahead. You'll be unmuted shortly. No, she's not. She's not unmuted. Just do.
Okay, hello? Yes, okay, my name is Siva. Yes, so I was watching this video too. I was disturbed, and I know that this is not a one-time off thing. It's happening to our kids on a daily basis. And when you look at those kids, I believe that those kids, the bullies, are a product of the society, which is deeply ingrained in racial, injustices. Those kids are learning from us adults. They are learning from the adults. They are learning from the injustices that are happening, all over on social media, where they see policemen killing Black people live, and those people are not held accountable. Those kids are learning from somewhere. We might sit here and be surprised. Why are they? What's happening? But these kids are a product and fruits of the society, which doesn't value other minority groups. So going forward, what I can share with the people out there, we as marginalized people, we need to be at the tables where decisions are made that affect us, where policies are made. We need to have a seat there so that we determine our destinies. We have to hold our politicians accountable. When we vote them in there, we have to tell them exactly what we want. We want change. We have to have seats at the school boards. We have to have more representation in all the departments of systems of our economy. We need to be represented as well, as other speakers were saying. So that's my contribution. cannot be, kept silent. People should bring those things out in the open. Don't suffer in silence, because that's what happens. People just, suffer in silence, and they don't, have these things brought up to the attention of everybody. But going forward, we need a seat. We need seats in the boards, which affects the decisions that affect our kids and our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Siba, for sharing that. Very true. We do need a seat at that decision table. Now, patients, please share your thoughts as well. And then we'll go to Jareen. Patients, you have just accept that message from the Zoom master to unmute yourself. Jareen.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, my name is Patience. I'm calling in from Calgary. And I don't have much to say. I know I had made a video a few months back when one of his young Sudanese girl committed suicide due to bullying. And I don't know how heartbroken I was when that happened. But what I want to share here today is the fact that us as parents that have kids, what are we doing when it comes to a problem like this? What are we doing as a community? Because that is how we can handle this problem. I know that communities do have different problems. I know that personally in our own lives, we do have different problems, but I do think that it has come to a time where enough is enough. And if we have to come together to say enough is enough, it's time for us as a community to stand to say, we're gonna put aside all the differences that we have and face this issue as a common problem, because it's not happening to isolated people. It's not an isolated issue. It is happening every day. It's just because people are not talking about it. And I know that us as Africans, we are too used to oppression that when things happen, we tend to normalize them. So it is really time for us to come together as a community and look at this problem as one and try to handle it. And I don't want to talk about the kids that are finding themselves in this situation. I want to talk to us, the parents, because the parents will have to look at the roots of where this thing is happening. And I do think that everything will come with awareness. I know that it is very difficult for us parents to come to this community and try to struggle to pay bills and pay so much attention to what our kids are going through, and even just to put food on the table for us. I know we have all these challenges in front of us. But you know what? At the end of the day, those kids that we brought here is the reason some of us are even here. Because if we did not want a better future for those kids, we would not be here. Some of us would have had better jobs back in our home countries and doing very well. But if one of the reasons we came to this country was to have a better future for these children, then I think it's time for us to put everything aside and focus on the fact that we have to find a solution to what is happening to our children. We don't have to sit and wait until it happens to you or it is very close to home before you take action. It's also, the second thing I want to say is that I don't know how and where we are. We came to this country, a lot of Africans that are in this country are very well educated. We all know that. But you know what? There is one thing that we are ignoring. The fact that we have to teach our children that all these things that is happening to them is not normal. We will not teach them to stand up for themselves by themselves. We have to teach them to stand up for themselves with us standing with them. So that is where we have to be coming from. If we need to find a solution to this problem, we need to start with us. Getting into those boards is not a problem. But we all know that there are systematic issues to put us aside from those things, because those interventions will come if they put us there. But you think we have to wait for them to put us in those boxes to take action? We don't have to. We have to find means. We have to create platforms for our voices to be heard. We don't have to be in those boxes to take those decisions, because whether we like it or not, we have to look for a way where those people are going to hear us. So that is my take for today. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Patience, for that powerful contribution to the panel. And before we go any further, I think someone mentioned in the chat that apart from this town hall, there's a way to contribute to the infrastructure of your neighborhoods and communities through applying for the councils, or going and volunteering at the schools. So there are those options if you do want to be more involved in your communities. And before we move on to Jereen, we'll just go to one of our panelists who joined a bit late, Arlene Agayo. If you can go ahead, you'll be unmuted in about a minute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Arlene Aguayo Stewart, thank you. And I volunteer with defund.ca, which is working nationally to defund the police. And I was invited by Franklin, thank you very much. This was obviously horrible and not something that we're not seeing happening on a national level. And Defund works specifically with Black Lives Matter chapters and Indigenous groups across Turtle Island, so-called Canada, to work to defund the police and move those resources to the resources that are necessary in communities.
Yeah, I'm just on a Zoom call.
Things like, for example, what Rosalind was talking about before, the principal who actually was creating programs to change the infrastructure of racism in Edmonton. So we're looking to redistribute all the money that's going to the police right now to organizations to prevent violence rather than punitive actions. So I'm only here very quickly to say that we work as connectors. So we connect groups all over Canada, and specifically on a social media perspective, we try and boost all the people that are doing the work that the police aren't doing. And yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you for having me. And I will link all the information to the website and to other resources that we found that are doing kind of anti-racism work in schools right now across Canada.
Thank you, Arlene, for that. And we'll go to Jereen and then Salome. Jereen, you have the floor.
Can everybody hear me? Can someone let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me okay? Because I'm outside.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I would like to first thank the organizers. You guys did an amazing job gathering everyone here. I think it's important as Black people to be able to have a safe space to relinquish and release the hurt that we're feeling due to this happening. I have a 3-year-old. I have a Black baby, right? I have nephews that are Black. I feel this pain, right? So I just want to commend you guys so much just for allowing this safe space. I also think it's important to recognize people such as Trent, such as Carmen, my very good friend Lauren. She's here on this chat as well. Who are not Black, but who choose to stand up for something that does not directly affect them, who take the time to walk with us, to scream louder than we sometimes scream for ourselves. It is very important that we support those who support us, because that is how the change happens. We can speak amongst ourselves. We can continuously cry and scream, but for us to be heard, we have to educate people that are not Black, that are not feeling these things directly, or people that are not Black that choose to walk with us and stand with us, right? So I would like to take this platform to say thank you so much for your work in walking with us and supporting with us. I dealt with a situation of racism, many situations of racism, but the last one that really hurt me was in the thick of my postpartum depression. My mom and I got into a car accident, and there was a Caucasian woman that pulled over. And I guess she was supposed to be a witness, and she began to call my mother and I a monkey, told us to go back to our country, and she hit me. I did not defend myself with her. My mom literally screamed at me and told me to keep my hands to my side. And when we went to the police, they did nothing about it. They did nothing. So this not only affects our babies, but it affects us as adults as well. And there was someone, I think it was my brother Winston, that said that we are adults, so we can take care of ourselves, but our children should not have to deal with things like this. So I feel like we need to continuously have these town hall meetings. I feel like people need to understand the proper processes that they need to go through to file these complaints, that we need to continue to have rallies and protests to educate people. I think the principal also stated that the problem here, it was a lack of education and was a lack of knowledge. The parents did not know the proper channels to go through. We need to consistently fight to be heard. So I commend us, and I hope that this isn't something that, you know, it's a one-off or something that we don't continue to do. I am willing to sit here and fight with our people. I'm willing to sit here and demand that our babies be loved correctly, because like many of us have said, we are tax-paying, we're law-abiding citizens. And this is accountability. We're not asking for something that is not owed to us. We're asking for something, we're asking for something that is owed to us, the right to send our children to school and not worry about them coming home and being hurt. So again, I just want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to me. I want to applaud again my non-Black brothers and sisters who are standing with us and fighting for us, and the organizers. Please don't stop doing things like this. Please continuously make our voices be heard so that we can make a difference and we can stop and end this once for all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jareen, for that powerful contribution. So we only have more time for 2 more speakers, so that will be Salome and Denise. However, we'll have more of these town halls, so please look forward to them and please join so that we can have more of these conversations. So Salome, you have the floor.
Hello. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having this event. I know we all feel it deeply in our souls. I come to you from Edmonton. I am a mother of 2 young Black boys, and I'm also a member of CASH, the Council of Canadians of African and Caribbean Heritage. And before all of this happened with PASO, we had planned an event called Rise Above It, and it's dealing with bullying and microaggressions that we often feel, and as adults, we recognize that when it happens to us at work, when it happens to us in regular society, but children may not often know that this is happening to them. And it's this Saturday, if you have children who are in junior high, which is a very vulnerable age where mental health can be affected. You can go on the Facebook of CASH, C-C-A-C-H, and find out where you can go on the Eventbrite. I've posted it in the chat down below. And in CASH, we've often combated racism and all that by educating our children about their worth. We hold events where we educate them about all the amazing Black scholars and people in our lives and in our communities. And we're also working within the school system to try and get more education, Afrocentric education, so that people have a different narrative about who we are as a people and appreciate us as equals within. We also have therapists who are going to be on this call this weekend. So I just want to put that information out there, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Salome, for that. We'll go now to Denise, and then we'll, for our final comments, we'll have one of our panelists, Roslyn. So Denise, you are unmuted. Sorry, you have to accept the link.
Okay, I say thank you. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Denise Isidore. I am a mother of 3, and I have a child, 14 years old, which is in high school now. And then I'm a grandmother. And mostly in the community, my kids, they go to French school. So imagine what can happen because we are a minority in minority. So when kids go to French school, they, as a Black kids, and then we don't know the system, you don't know how to tell the child how to speak for themselves. So my sister always said, when the kids go to school, the first, because this forum is all about bullying and racism. So the first bully in the school come with the principal, and then after that come with the teacher, and then go down to the students. Because me myself, when they talk about inclusive, I get involved in the school a lot because when my child was 7 years old, I used to volunteer in the school as a lady lunch supervisor. So sometimes I will go early to see how she's doing, or even go for some field trips. So what I will see with Black kids in the school, sometimes you see when the teacher doing, like if the teacher trying to any subject the teacher want to teach in the classroom, he will divide the classroom, and then we'll send all the Black kids in the gym, and then the other kids will stay to learn whatever math or science you want. And then I say, why you will send the Black kids in the gym? And then he say, oh, the Black kids, they are too hyper, they cannot focus to follow the instruction. I said, their parents send them here to learn. So you will tell me you're gonna send, oh, they like the gym, they like to be there. I say, of course they're gonna like to be there because they are kids, but their parents know they are in a classroom to learn. And then when you try to teach something that can be valuable for them, you will send them away. This is not fair. So from that, they find a way to tell me that they don't need me for volunteer and something just to, but I have the courage to say that because we have the statistic, because I'm from Edmonton. Way before February this year, for Black History Month, we decide, we are 5 parents, we decide, we said, we're gonna create a initiative committee to address the problem for our children. You don't finish high school, because when we see kids drop out school, they cannot finish high school, because we have statistics that say 6 out of 10 Black kids, they don't finish high school. So we see the problem more deep. Why the kids, they don't finish high school? It's not because they are not smart, it's not because they are not motivated or they are bad kids. It's what they go into in the school. Racism from principal, from teacher, from even parents, that make them, they are not interested, they are traumatized. And this is what future you see are gonna do. So next time it will be prison, it will be jail for them. So this problem, the systemic racism is going more than that for our kids. So we have to put together to stop that. As I know there is one person say, we have to address this problem as COVID. I think racism, somebody is a virus, the same as a COVID, they have to address it. So that's what I want to say.
Thank you so much, Rosalind, for that great insight. Oh, sorry, my apology, Denise. I'm getting all mixed up. So thank you so much for that insight. And I also want to thank everybody here who had the opportunity to speak. So I'm going to give Rosalind also an opportunity to speak as well. And then we'll conclude the dialogue. Rosalind, go ahead and share your final thoughts.
Well, thank you. And I really clearly heard the needs of our community today. We need to come together and force the districts to have Black representation for parents and for the teachers, Black teachers who are working there. We need to force these districts to hire Black teachers. Your parents, you're so right. You need to hold your child's hand in junior high and high school when they go to school more than you held their hand when they were in kindergarten. We need to ensure that our students get the 100 credits to graduate that goes somewhere, not the 100 credits that don't make a difference, don't allow them to go to post-secondary schools. I am more than willing, more than happy to help any parent out there who needs help navigating the system. I understand the system. I understand how police work. And more importantly, it gives me a great satisfaction to know that we got one more child through school that's going to make a difference for our community. Every child that goes out and works and pays taxes is to be valued. Dignity for parents, we need that. And if we don't force the school, if we don't have advocates who actively work and put pressure on the superintendents of both districts, we're not going to get a change. I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Yes, if you would like to get in touch with me, I'm not techie savvy, but if someone could write down my phone number and share it, it's 780-908-7174. Or I have an email address called, and it's roslaine.smith@gmail.com. Franklin knows me well. He knows my contact information. And a young person is going to help me set up a website and so I can have more connections and more dialogue with parents and staff members. And certainly, with support from you, it allows me to put more pressure on the superintendent. Next month, there's going to be the new policy, anti-racism policy coming forward from the board. And I'm going to coordinate something so we have multiple parents attending if they have the time on Zoom, so they can comment and give feedback that day to the importance of what this policy is going to do. And never mind the policy, we need the action right now.
Thank you so much, Roslyn. I think you're going to be bombarded by phone calls, so be ready.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank goodness for the young people who are very on top of technology. And I want to thank everybody here for joining in the conversation. I think we all been faced with all the things that everybody talked to. One time or the other, we've all faced it. And I really do like what David said. We need to take this Zoom conversation over to City Hall. Maybe that's next in line. But in the meantime, we'll continue to have this conversation. And not to forget Fedora, who was one of our young speakers earlier, who is definitely one that we should be looking towards some wisdom, because she's gone through it. And a lot of you have gone through it, whether it's your child or somebody else. We are going through the same journey. We are all in the same ship, but fighting different battles. So what I also wanted to do is be sure to link onto some of the websites. Everybody's sending some links on where you can continue the conversation. I know Siani had something there. I know Trent had something there. So continue the conversation. This is not the end. This is really the beginning of many more conversations to come.